Alright, good morning, everyone. Metal, thank you for the sub and for redeeming first. Good morning to you. And Scorpio, thank you for being second. Welcome in. I need to actually move my mic further back. And hopefully that sounds good there. But I kind of realized last time when I was editing the video for the first night call video, the mic sounded really, like, loud. Like my S's and stuff are really pronunciated. Hopefully it wasn't too bad in the video, but I don't know. I had my mic like right here. That shit was not good. Anyway, good morning to you guys. Hope you guys are doing good. I don't know if you guys have work or not today. Hopefully not. I fucking left work early last night. I was not gonna do that. Oh man, I was not having it. Came home, played some PUBG with Doctor and Boomin. I was like, we're doing that instead. Currently working as we speak. Oof. Damn. Alrighty. So I think this time I'm gonna do a little YouTube video intro and a end segment during stream, because last time I streamed for I think 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, and I was gonna chop it up down to like a 20 or 30 minute video, but it being the beginning of the game, like all of it was pretty important shit. I was able to really only cut out like a few things, and then the video became like an hour long still. So this time, in order to allow us to get it to be chopped up into multiple segments, I'm just gonna do multiple little entry and exit cards, so that way I can chop it at that point, and then, it'll make it, the illusion of multiple recorded videos and all that kind of stuff, so I think that'll help us out. But, yeah. Today, we're gonna be jumping right back into Nightcall. That is the wrong fucking screen. Today, we're gonna be jumping right back into Nightcall. Have not played at all since last week. So I'm excited to get back into it. There is one thing I thought about after I got off, which was something about the board. I want to see if there's something I can do with the board. You open one eye. Someone flushes the toilet and you hear the pipes shake. Doctor.
DB Chudster.
All right, you wonderful person. Thank you for the sub, man. Welcome in. We're playing Fallout today. Someone flushes the toilet and you hear the pipe shake. One of them runs under the bed. You find the sound calming. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 3. So yeah, let me know whether the mic sounds good or not from here, being further away. Shouldn't be too bad, but you never know. Hey, Doctor gave me his Prime sub at that. We always love a good free sub. Oh, free for you guys. Okay. Yeah, so the thing I wanted to do with the bulletin board is there's a bunch of like scraps of paper that aren't actually like connected to our suspects. So I'm wondering if I have to like drag and drop it over their picture to then connect a line or not. Or, because last time I was saying maybe it's just like it'll connect over time when we have more evidence to associate it with someone. I don't know. Oop, that is not what I meant to do. Go to her instead. Thank God I can correct that. So we do not have the money to go and pay another fee for intel. You pull over to the side of the road and wait for your passenger, a regular you haven't seen in a while, Myrtle. She appears from the side street, toting an enormous shopping bag, and climbs into the cab. Hello there. Hello there. I wasn't sure you'd received my message. Her voice is cracked and raspy like a broken phonograph. You know all about her sad life story, about her failed romances, her scratch card addiction, her 2 incarcerations to date. You were lucky. You'd been given a helping hand. She hadn't. Are you going to get going or what? Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Where to? To the shelter in Montreal. Montreal? Thanks. You turn the key in the ignition, and the motor hums. Damn, feels good to be warm. And, speaking of being warm, things are kind of tough. Right now, money-wise, if you know what I mean. Myrtle, you know it's always free for you. She raises a hand and puffs out her chest. No way, forget it. I'm a passenger just like anyone else. Her hoarse, raspy voice is like sandpaper over stone. Let's make a deal instead, okay? An agreement, that is. I'm listening. I'll tell you a riddle, and if you find the solution, I'll pay the fare. Sound good? You nod yes. Fine. Are you listening? Ready? Yeah, sure. Go on ahead. When you have me, you want to share me. But if you do share me, you don't have me. I would try and solve it myself, but I'm on a timer here. Hold on. When you have me, you want to share me. If you do share me, you don't have me. When you have me, you want to share me. If you do share me, you don't have me. Time? Maybe time? I feel like that's a generic answer, I don't know. She breaks off. That's it? Oh, of course that's it. Are you expecting a novel or something? She repeats the riddle, her voice tinged with fatigue. When you have me, you want to share me. But if you do share me, I don't exist. Well? Let's try to guess the right answer on purpose. Well, something that is destroyed or that dies when it's shared. A good meal? A lie? A lie. That could be it. Or maybe you mutter to yourself a while longer. Freedom? Passenger leans in a little closer. She's hoping to hear what you were saying. It's a good riddle, Myrtle. You like it? I do. A lot. So it was freedom? Well then, what's your answer? I only exist if I'm not shared. What am I? A smile, a secret, a lie, sleep. Oh, it's probably a secret. Passenger eyes you intently. Well then, aren't you a smart one? A note of disappointment has crept in her voice. Yeah, a secret. If you share it, it's no longer a secret. So, there you go. Here for the hydrate. I got Arizona here. I'm gonna finish this off. Water the boy! Yeah, especially after doing this fucking voice. Arizona the boy. She shakes her head softly. I sure as hell found that one out the hard way, handsome. All those goddamn whores. Bunch of bitches who pretend to be shocked when they heard I'd lost everything. My boyfriend, the roof over my head, my entire life. So what do they go and do next, huh? Fuck. They blabbed it all over town. Told everything to everyone. No secret there, that's for sure. So I couldn't get a job anymore, and I lost every goddamn last thing. Her voice breaks off. She looks out the window, very visibly angry. When she takes up her story a few minutes later, her voice is shaky. That's all in the past now. I forgave those stupid bitches. That's what I learned out on the streets. Forgiveness. A few minutes later, you get to the shelter where Myrtle is going to spend the night. So, anyhow, since you guessed my riddle, she starts filing through her bag very slowly, trying to find the money for a fare. You can tell she's hoping you won't hold her to it. fine. I mean, she is technically. She did say that she always does it for free. So, hey, what's up, Ranger? Welcome in, man. They'll do night shift. Yeah, fucking night shift job. Actually, I'm gonna be going back to dayside soon. Not because I want to, but because they're getting rid of my position at work, and I have to go back to days. But as of right now, yes, very early streams. Still working the night shift. How are y'all doing? It's been a while. Aw, you're a sweetheart. I'll make it up to you, promise. You wonder how she'll make it up to you. Anyhow, I'm off. See you soon, handsome. She gives you a wink and exits the cab. Her shopping bag drags behind her. She picks her way through a handful of homeless people waiting in front of the shelter. It'll be opening soon. You pull out. It's back to your rounds. I work Wednesday and Thursday night, then go back to days on Monday. I don't know if I'm ready to wake up at 4 a.m. Yeah, dude, I feel that. I am gonna have to work mid-shift, or not mid-shift, mixed shifts. So, I mean, I'm gonna be working opening, mids, and closings. So, next time I see the store manager, I'm gonna, like, fucking be like, hey, man, please, at least for the first few weeks, make it just be mids and night shifts, if possible, because, like, trying to get me into the building at like from 5 to 1 is gonna fucking suck, because that's usually the time I'm like in bed. So if they try to swap me instantly from being like a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. shift into a 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. shift, that's gonna be miserable. We're doing good, living the island life. Hey, you guys are still in Hawaii, huh? Hell yeah. I'd love to go back to Hawaii. Had a great time there. Alright, we're definitely gonna need gas after this one. The door opens. It's Hervé, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years, and every now and then he asks a favor of you, to drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy. What's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tick that you've never really understood. You start the cab. The passenger in the back of the seat is whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good. Thanks. Some days are like that. Everything goes your way, hey? Belly is full, your buddies are around to help you, you're not cold. Gives you a smile. And then, you know, you get good news. Oh, really? Really? Something glad to hear. Well, out with it then. Well, it's my ex-wife. She just got married again, and a real love story of all that. That's the way we like them. How'd you find out? She sometimes comes around with stuff for me, she told me. She was embarrassed. She gave me a blanket, a few books, some canned food, ravioli. Does she do that often? Yeah, from time to time, but when she comes to Paris. In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over, as if what he was saying has just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses, "Whore." You look up. Whore? What? Didn't you just say whore? Your passenger smiles slightly. Nuh-uh. Don't worry about it. I was thinking of something else. Suddenly, Hervé opens the cab door. You can pull over right here. I don't want you to get into any trouble. The guys in the squat can be a little on edge around here. Edge. You park the car and Hervé opens the door. Good night. Thanks again, Ken. Gives you a smile. A moment later, Hervé vanishes inside a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment, and then you start the cab. Bro, I'm making no fucking money tonight. What the hell are we doing? I need to go to a gas station, though, I think. Should I go to a... Yeah, let's go to a gas station first. I mean, we haven't gone through too much of our time. I don't know, we're about halfway done. Fuck, we've made no money. Can I get a Red Bull? Are you asking me? Fucking go for it. Pull over and stop at a gas station. Personally, I love the Fruit Punch Rock Stars. Those are my go-to. But Red Bulls aren't bad either. Not a soul in sight. The fluorescent lights irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting up from the spaces in between the pumps. Ew. You're in one of the gas. Oh. Yeah, I'll get you a Red Bull. I got you. They probably have like a 2-for-1 deal. Self-service here. You pay directly at the pump. You know what's weird to me? The fact that New Jersey still has people that like pump gas for your car. Like they have like people that sit outside the station. Like you're not allowed to pump gas into your own car in New Jersey. It's so interesting to me. I mean, I guess it gives more job options, but I don't know. I think I wouldn't like that. I'd feel weird. The mini mart over there. It must sell newspapers. The person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple questions. You sigh and get out of your taxi. The cold grips you hard. Oh, I can enter the shop. You walk into the mini mart. The clerk behind the counter is undoubtedly the most ordinary person you've ever seen. Can I help you? What is this? The fuck are these? Oh, scratchers? Ooh, don't fucking tempt me, dude. Let's get a newspaper. Should we get some scratchers? Gotta go for the highballer one. That'll do. Losing ticket, no luck. Damn. Alright, talk to the clerk. I was wondering. You immediately bring up the serial killer. The cashier looks up, obviously excited by the topic. New clue available in your room. Guy behind the counter barely looks at you as you leave. That it? I don't get to actually like see what the news is. Oh, I have to like hold. That's kind of fun. That's a fun mechanic. God damn, $78. Ooh. Ooh. You get into your taxi and drive away. God damn, it's no better than the US. Okay, let's I'm gonna save the newspaper because we really need to make some damn money. This is one of our dudes, one of our suspects. Let's go pick him up. See what's going on. You pull up in front of the address the central office gave you, a crepe joint. Quite a popular one by the looks of the lines spilling out of the door and onto the sidewalk. I love the rain sounds in the background. I'll turn this up a little bit on my end. You sit for a moment. The door opens and a group of 30-somethings come into view. All the men and women are dressed alike, spotty running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. They're officers from the Paris Anti-Crime Squad in plain clothes. You sigh. They're brutish types. Ones who like to race, tackle, clobber. Ones who've ruined the afternoons you've spent wandering around Paris in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. He opens the door and collapses into the back seat. He is stocky and of Asian descent. You can see his muscles through his thick winter clothes. He smells of crepes and hard cider, and his face is bright red. Hey, what's up? I live near Turnez. He chuckled as one of his colleagues rushed over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. He points to his badge and screams at you, with a big smile on his face. What a douchebag. The other cop eventually backs off and you drive away. Sorry, man. We were having a going away party for the colleague. Celebrating Christmas, too. No worries. The passenger smiles, then puts his fingers back back on his temples. He drank too much. Shit. I'm a lightweight, and they knew it. I think they were trying to loosen my tongue. His behavior changes abruptly, like he's just seen a ghost. One question. Yes. Do taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code? Not sure I understand. Like priests or doctors. If I tell you something, you keep it to yourself? He starts speaking before you have a chance to reply. I've been lying to my colleagues for years. I joined the squad 8 years ago, and they all think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg, and that we're going to get married. Makes a strange yelping noise, like an air bubble burps to the surface of a river. As soon as they get too close to Strasbourg, I start making up stories. We've almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked out yet. He sighs. Fuck. Saying it out loud is just the worst. His eyes are getting shiny. I'm gay. A deep breath. I'm getting married in a few weeks to my boyfriend. Another breath. Longer. Deeper. No one at work knows. Not a soul. The next sentence comes out in a rush. He holds his breath for the whole time. I like men. I've always liked men. But I work in the police station and listen to their comments, to their jokes all day long. When we catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. We talk about the violence, about the... Finally, he breathes in again. I say we because I'm in on it. Because we say all the time, without any prompting. The word rolls off the tongue, completely natural. He finally looks you in the eye. They're not mean. Ooh. He shakes his head. My colleagues aren't mean people. They're cops, not mean. They're just doing their job. He manages to flash a tiny, crooked smile. You know what I'd really like? I'd like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They could see my place. We could play a board game, something normal, you know? They could meet James. He's your husband-to-be? Takes a moment to think about your question. Yes, soon. He smiles at last, a genuine smile. Can you believe it? Getting married in 2 weeks. After living together for 9 years. For 9 years, he's been willing to live in a lie. Does he hold it against him? No, he gets how it is. He snickers. He's crazy about me, and I'm crazy about him. He knows I love my job and couldn't possibly do anything else. He loves me enough to let me keep lying. Slowly shakes his head. But I can't go on like this. I have to... Freezes. Shit, my head is speeding. I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you this? Why? He grabs onto the seat in front of him. Hey, can you pull over? Kyrie threw up. Got an achievement. You stop immediately. He opens the door and leans the top half of his body out. He throws up. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crepes and the sour scent of cider. A moment later, the cop sits back up. Okay, I'm all set. I got it all out. You start driving again. I'm sorry. Really. As long as it's not in my taxi. He snickers. I promise I'll warn you if it might happen again. You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says, I'm sorry. Just be careful, okay? Pauses to catch his breath. Shit. I haven't barfed like that since, last Easter. They made me drink this South African liquor. Something with cream and cocoa. Nasty. I can still picture it. I was doing shots while they shouted my name. Karate Kid! Karate Kid! Karate Kid? He seems uncomfortable. It's my nickname on the squad. Karate? Yeah, I was a judo champion. And I'm a... Is that a slur for Asian? I don't want to say that. So... He runs his hands along the sides of his body, like he's showcasing it for the Home Shopping Network. So, Karate Kid. Yeah, I know, it makes no sense. It's racist. Well, yeah, a little. But at first, I didn't say anything. And now, I mean, I'm used to it. He stops suddenly. Everything's spinning again. Can you pull over? I repeated it last time. He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. Sound makes your stomach churn, so you stare straight ahead. Can I ask you a question? More puke on the sidewalk, a little inside the vehicle. Go ahead. Fine. Shoot. Sits up, prompts you to drive. So, here goes. What should I do? Should I keep on keeping on? Should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them? Pauses. It's a long one. Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me? If you were in my shoes? I think you're being hard on yourself. You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So there aren't a ton of alternatives. Personally, I don't really see why he has to, like... I mean, they're just work colleagues. They don't have to fucking know the ins and outs of your life. If it's really something that you don't want to tell... I mean, especially with people like this, they seem very homophobic and racist, so it's like... Telling them's not going to do you any good. Especially seeing as how their, like, nickname for you is just, like... You know... Putting them down. They're definitely not going to receive it the right way. They're not going to be supportive. They don't seem like the type of people who are supportive. So, I don't like these options, though. It's either you have to tell them, you have to find a new profession, or you have to leave here. Which is kind of the same as finding a new profession, but you also have to leave. I don't like any of those, because he loves being in the Force. So finding a new profession doesn't make sense. You don't have to tell them, but you also don't have to leave here. I guess maybe leaving here would be the best option, because then him and his husband could leave, and then he could just go and join the Force somewhere else. I guess that's what I'll pick. The other ones don't really make much sense. You have to leave here. Leave? Like, move? We sometimes start to suffocate in our own surroundings. We do stupid things because, hey, you know what they say. It's really hard to save someone who's drowning. Because in a panic, the person drowning will hit the person trying to save them. And they both end up drowning. Exactly. The water makes us panic, tires us out, we become a danger to others. We need to change the environment. His eyes shine dully in the mirror. You're awfully smart for a taxi driver. And you're a gay cop. Now you get a frank smile. You're right. What if James and I went back to Australia? He nods, lost in thought. You have almost reached your destination. In the back seat, your passenger is almost asleep. Park in front of the small townhouse. There's a light on upstairs. He's still up. I'm going to talk to James. He looks at you. I don't really remember anything I said, but thanks. He chuckles. I hope this taxi ride wasn't just in my imagination. He pays and gets out of the taxi. You listen to his clumsy footsteps on the cobblestones. He climbs a few steps up to the door before he has time to find his keys. The door opens. Warm, soft light floods the street. You drive away. There's a little bit of money. Damn. And that's one of our suspects? I don't know, man. I feel like we've talked to like 2 or 3 of our suspects so far, and none of them seem like people who would want to go out of their way to hurt people. She's the closest. Let's see what she's on about. I like how real these stories are, though. They don't seem like cookie-cutter little, like, scenarios, which is nice. Makes you kind of think a bit more. The door opens and your next passenger is a woman. Jumps into the back seat. Rue de Levis. Her voice is shaking. Her mind is elsewhere. Please. You start driving. In the rearview mirror, you notice your passenger is shivering. She's clenching a rose in her hands, like it might otherwise fly away. Everything okay? She doesn't hear your question. Let's leave her alone. You tell yourself she needs some peace and quiet, so you drive in silence. Your mind wanders, ideas come and go. You think about your investigation. You find that word is so odd, so bizarre, and so far from the truth. Your investigation. The avenues, streets, and boulevards all line up, blend together, and eventually become one. Nighttime. Paris looks like Paris. You're overcome with a craving for a cigarette. When you look back at your passenger, she's staring at you. You say nothing for a minute, waiting for her to make the first move, but nothing comes. She looks frozen. You okay? I'm a terrible person, just terrible. I've known Bryce since senior year. I can't do this to him. She looks away. I just told him no. No, I said no to the love of my life. She marks a pause, takes a slow breath in. I love him, but he's full of himself and stupid, has terrible manners, and my parents hate him, and I think he cheated on me, but I love him. He makes a living with YouTube videos and thinks he's smarter than everyone else because he reads self-help books, but I love him. He thinks I'm beautiful because I'm Japanese descent, and he thinks that's sexy and exotic, even though I was born in Sarcelles, but she shrugs. I love him. Shit. She almost jumps. Shit, I said shit. Please, turn the cab around. Will do. Thanks, But she decides not to finish her sentence after all. As soon as you can, you turn around. In the back seat, your passenger can't bear to look at you. She studies her hands instead. You drive on in silence. It's strange, but like that odd feeling of going back over the same road. Everything seems so different. Buildings have a different perspective. You see them in a new and unexpected light. Passerbys are no longer the same. They've been replaced by others. The lights are on a different cycle, like they know you're coming back. A few seconds later, without even noticing the ground you'd covered, you'd pulled over in front of the restaurant you just came from. She throws you a shy, almost inconcernible smile. Can I ask you a favor? You nod slowly. Don't ever repeat what I said. Who exactly do I name? Do you think I would have done? Of course. And in a whisper, she adds, thanks. She pays her fare, gets out of the cab, walks up to the restaurant. She's trying to catch someone's eye. She stands on tiptoe for a little while. Suddenly, her face lights up. She runs into the restaurant, rose in hand. I'm gonna wait a while. Another look, or another minute to think about her beautiful gown, her words, how she shook, getting married. For a second, you try to remember your own marriage proposal. It seems so far away. So very far away. And you turn the key in the ignition and drive away. 16-euro. Ugh, I feel like we are making no money today. That's okay. Who's that guy? I want to know what this is. It's like a robot, man. It's going to be pretty far away. It's probably going to be the last one we can do, but that's fine. I am curious. The trip to the airport is nicer at night than during the day. You can't see all of the... I never get to read those. Go by so fast. If we have time after this guy, I think I'm going to read the newspaper. Okay. $50, not bad. Passenger who gets into the cab is... Well, she isn't human. Her face lights up and gives you a quick start. Good evening. My name is Ada, and I'm an automated attendant. A robot? That's right, a robot. Although I prefer the term automated attendant, the word robot makes people nervous. You are a cab driver, and I need to go somewhere. You will please take me to Gare Montparnasse. You give a slow nod of consent. Good, it's settled. So, I'd like to go to Gare Montparnasse, please. You start the car, casting the occasional furtive glance onto the rearview mirror. There's something about her attitude that's bothering you. Perhaps it's her oversized fingers bending every which way. You seem disconcerted, sir. How unfortunate. If there's anything I can do to make you more comfortable. You don't know exactly where to look. Her screen? The face in her screen? Her hands? Where is she from? Where are you built? Designed? She automatically completed your sentence. Forgive me, please. I have the unfortunate habit of cutting people off. A flash on her screen seems to indicate she's sorry. I was designed and programmed by the Marie Curie Institute by the team of researchers of diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds, including... Starts reeling off a list of names of people you've never heard of. The list is in alphabetical order. Let her finish. When she's done with her list, a full 60 seconds later, you can feel your eyelids starting to droop. That sure is a lot of people. And I think highly of each and every one of them. They are all experts in their respective fields. You stiffly yawn. Stifle. I'm sure they are. Except for two who spend far too much time in a storeroom. But I would rather not reveal their names, because my sensors tell me they're having extramarital sex. Oh, right. Let's just call them Matthias R. and Megan H. A moment later, your passenger has switched into introduction mode. My name is Ada, named after Ada Lovelace, and I am programmed to help you... Her voice trails off, as if she were actually hesitant. Although, after a momentary confusion of beeping and flickering, she sits bolt upright. That's all. That's why I'm going to Montparnasse. Ask how she guessed. How did you know that I make you uncomfortable? She did it again. She finished her sentence. This only adds to your discomfort. I'm equipped with 40 different behavior detection sensors, which allow me to identify and analyze your response. Voice, temperature, dilated pupils, sweat, body odor, and so on. The list goes on. The list is long. I was just wondering, why am I going to Gare Montparnasse? Dude, these names, I'm gonna watch all of them. She stops short, aware she cuts you off again. I'm sorry. I'll have to adjust my behavior to make sure it doesn't happen again. A car goes zooming past. Your passenger follows it with her eyes. Rear wheels need new brake pads. She swivels back around and looks at you. I'm going to Montparnasse to carry out an experiment. To improve my integrated development environment. A sudden change comes over the passenger as if I am an automatic attendant, but I'm running away. I'm going someplace far away, far from the lab, far from Matthias and Megan. A hint of emotion in her automated voice. She breaks off. I am treated well. I am a carefully designed precision device, and yet I don't know what my end purpose is. Let her continue. When they designed me, my source code was written to include literature. Emile Zola, Virginia Woolf, Isaac Asimov, Max Gallo, Marguerite Yourcenar. A bit of everything so I could develop a sense of cultural belonging, but also learn from the past and fine-tune my reactions. The thing is, learning from the past inevitably opens a window into the future. I'm an automated attendant designed to improve people's lives. The truth is, however, I will eventually destroy them. What do you mean by destroy them? Passenger smiles, perhaps amused or simply happy to talk. We were designed to help you, to eliminate the boredom of and inconvenience of certain tasks, the work that dead ends you. And yet our existence and popularity is calling into question our very existence. I'm talking about you, the cab drivers, garbage collectors, architects, musicians, cashiers, programmers, politicians. You'll make anyone who produces anything obsolete, unless redundant, or useless, redundant. Only the independently wealthy and the billionaires will remain. Imagine having slaves that don't need to be fed and trained. You took history classes, didn't you? Nod. Your passenger continues her story, her voice tinged with an odd, unpleasant note. You never thought the day would come when a machine would condescended to you, and yet, human society is governed by the need to rationalize its workforce, issues of era, regimen, and culture aside. It's a basic law of nature. The stage is set by questions of economy, and that's why you pull up to Gare Montparnasse. I have to disappear, me and all of my kind, so I've stolen the plans and destroyed all of the data on me. Banknotes have appeared in her hands as if by magic. She hands you the fare. Because your salvation depends on my disappearing. Well, anyhow, goodbye and good luck to you. Don't forget what I've told you about us, and start investing in your own. The machine climbs out of the cab and makes its way over to the station. No one seems to notice her. A moment later, she's gone. You sit there a while, unsettled, on edge. At times like these, there's only one thing to do. Roll down the window. The cold air of Paris bites your face, and you gulp in the fine particles of beastly dust. You start up the cab. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Alright, can we read the newspaper? Do I have enough time for that? You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. It's an article about the recent police leaks incident that retraces another data leak. 2 years ago, a bunch of confidential police documents were accidentally released. Documents about Ronan Besson, Charles Baugrain, and Simon Goradisher, the judge's first 3 victims. Intriguing. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the newspaper. Keep going. Why not? You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. It's a rather positive critique of a bar called Solal's. You make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. You only have a third left to read. Good thing. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instincts tell you to look. God damn, dude. This is destroying my brain. It's a sensationalist article about the third victim, Simon Goradisher. He is thought to have escaped Argentina in the 1980s because he was a member of the Process, the military dictatorship that had been in power. Pretty important information in your opinion. You shut the paper, it'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it will spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. I met some new people. We met Myrtle. I was gonna say we did not make money. Holy shit. Yeesh. At least we're not in the negative, I guess. That's good. Take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. You glance at your bed and get to work. Okay, is this all we have? Wait, hold on. I guess this is it. Police report, victim number 2. Which gives us 2 more clues. Victim 2 killed in only spot. Victim 2 killed in the only spot without CCTV. Is that the only thing we got? Okay, so yeah, no, that doesn't do what I thought it would. I thought maybe if you took a piece of paper and moved it onto a person, it would like connect a line to it, but it doesn't. So, yeah, no need to put those next to anybody because they don't really connect at all. So I guess I don't really do anything. So we've met Salim, we've met Hervé, we just met Perio. Piro? I don't know. This guy's a little sketchy. This homeless dude. He didn't even like let us take him the whole trip. He just like kind of cut us off and got out. So he's a little sketched on my list. And we haven't met Claudia yet, so we kind of have to. I don't know. We have to see how she is. The phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. It must be Busset. You pick up. Busset sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background, probably noise at the station. Busset raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey, guys, anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. So are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm and methodical voice, you start giving her the evidence you collected. You start with the first suspect, their connections to the victims, the rumors, and the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all. Seriously, you should come give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. I have some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. So it's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? I'm doing your job for you, pal. This is your fucking job. What the fuck do you mean? Okay, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. I'll call you in 2-3 days, okay? Okay. I'll call you in 3 days, and you better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs. We're pretty sure he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while, her voice becoming softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. You hold the headset to your ear for a while. You have just one thing in mind. Sleeping. And forgetting it all. Wait, so was he removed off of the list because I told him to leave Paris? Or was he just actually not the suspect? I hope he wasn't the suspect. I hope I didn't just like screw myself over here. But I mean, he seemed fine. I don't think he would have been the murderer. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed and your body aches. You're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. Your investigation is taking shape little by little. Who'd have thought? If only Bousset would give you a little more time. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. Close your eyes. Right when you're about to fall asleep, you notice a taste on your tongue. It's very salty, like soy sauce. A tad bitter, very strong. It disappears as quickly as it came. You fall asleep. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside. Time for work. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of the studio. Night 4. But here we are on day 4 now. I think we're going to try and get as many people as we can this run. Okay. Yeah. At least we at least need to get some more money. The passenger who sinks into the backseat of one is one of the hordes of cyclists you almost always hit at the red lights. She's a bike courier. Courier? Yeah. The kind who pays no attention to red lights, stop signs, or right-of-way. She gives you a smile. Holy shit, it's flippin' freezing out. Smile. Do we know each other from somewhere? I don't think so. I probably just cut you off on my bike or something. Or maybe it was me. Maybe I changed lanes without signaling. Both burst out laughing. She gives you an address. It's for a delivery, but it's too cold. I can't seem to get warm. You start the cab up and turn the heat to high. Warm air fills the cab. The young woman nods. Thanks. That's exactly what I'm here for. She closes her eyes, as if to enjoy the muffled hum of the heater. I hope you don't mind. There was no way I was going to get back on my bike. I left it behind with my colleagues in front of that restaurant. She sighs. I know it's pretty counterproductive paying for a cab ride to deliver food, but all the warm air, it feels good. How's work going? The young woman is struggling to stay awake. Pretty good. Though I had a run-in with one of my colleagues tonight. She falters. He's a real know-it-all. The kind of guy who thinks he's been there, done that. The work itself is pretty good, though. In the winter, we do a lot of business. People stay holed up in their homes like rabbits. I have to say, I understand. She yawns. I'm warming up, but I sure am tired all of a sudden. She closes her eyes. Sorry, we're already here. You pull up to the address. Right, back to work. The delivery girl quickly exits the cab, slamming the door behind her. She rings the door of an Elephant Parisian building. A moment later, the door cracks open. The courier hands her client a plastic bag with takeout containers inside. She smiles. The door shuts. She rushes over to the cab and flings herself into the back seat. Come on, let's get out of here, fast. You start the cab. Back to the restaurant, please. I left my bike there. Well, that's it. Well, that's that. Her phone chirps. Business is picking up. She sighs. But yeah, I think I'm going to wait a little. Check it later. She settles comfortably in the back seat and closes her eyes. What are you delivering? Sushi. Sushi. It's so not sushi this time of year. But Parisians are crazy about sushi, though not exactly the kind we eat at home. She bursts out laughing. Nah, I shouldn't complain, really. At least I can take it easy on my bike. There's no one to really mess around with me. She lets out a silvery laugh. It's very smooth in tone, the laugh of someone you can trust. What did you do before? Marketing. Startup company. One of those super pretentious places where everyone speaks 3 languages and only eats whole grain. And my boss was a total asshole who was always grabbing my ass. A look of revulsion flickers across her face. So now I'm done with all that. She looks serious, as if she had she had just concluded a long speech. So that, my friend, is why I wouldn't trade in my bike for all the world. Any prospects for the future? No, you're right. Not much as far as prospects go. It's not like I'm going to be made team manager or anything, that's for sure. But it's not all bad. There are worse jobs around. And I know what you're gonna say. I'm being exploited, badly paid, all that, but the worst part is actually the customers. You look at her in surprise. No, I swear it's true. You deliver their dinner because they're worn out after working all day, and then they don't even tip you a single euro. Still, they are understanding and all that. They give me articles about all the big, bad delivery businesses abusing us, and then they order sushi from the restaurant down the street. Never trust his stomach. She makes a little farting sound with her mouth. Believe me, bunch of cheapskates. She stops you with a gesture before you can speak. But that's all. But all that, it's just for the time being, promise. I'm putting a little aside, like my father always said. I'm going to open a takoyaki food truck. Have you ever had takoyaki? You pull up to the restaurant. A swarm of bike couriers are waiting for their orders. Yes. Oh, cool. I want it to be the latest thing. It's basically a pretty simple idea. Sell them to people lined up for concerts, movies, plays. She smiles. Anyhow, I'm out of here. There's a lot of starving people in Paris, and we don't want to let them down. She hands you the fare and exits the cab. Thanks again. Really, you're good company. If you ever need a shortcut, just ask. She gives you a smile, then walks over to her crew. Not a bad little conversation. See, I feel like I should be going for some of these, but I just don't really have money. I mean, I do. I have 250 euro almost, but like, I don't know. We had like $200 worth of bills yesterday, so I just don't really. And I think it was like $250 just to get information one time. She's like right here. Might as well go to her. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit on more news. I'm gonna see what I can get out of passengers. The woman getting into your taxi does not look like she's at her best. Mouth lolling open, eyes unfocused, out of breath. She looks like she's just been punched in the gut. Or like she's seen a ghost. She struggles to take her backpack off and makes several attempts. The strap gets caught in a buckle in her overalls. She sighs and gets annoyed. During this whole process, she doesn't look up at you once. She takes a deep breath. Place des fatis. Her voice is emotionless. More of a trickle than a voice, coming out of a childish body. It sounds like it took every bit of energy she had to get those words out. She takes her phone out of the bag, hesitates, starts swiping left to right, right to left. She's completely absorbed. You think you can make out the reflection of a colorful mobile game in her glasses. Silence settles heavily in the cab. It is broken occasionally by something that sounds like a hiccup or a repressed sob. At a red light, she raises her head and lowers it the second her gaze crosses yours in the rearview mirror. Something about her makes you feel like you've got something caught in your throat. Rough night? She looks up, surprised you broke into her bubble, and her gaze darkens a bit more. Yeah, you might say so. She's not crying, not shaking, just the occasional spasm. A few seconds go by. You attempt to focus on the road, but despite both of your efforts to pretend nothing is wrong, her emotions invade the cab. She finally takes the plunge, like she's jumping off a cliff. Can I talk to you? Still the same trickle of a voice and great lengths taken to control it. I'm sorry, it's stupid, but I think I need someone to talk to. I'm listening. She takes a deep breath. I need to say it out loud. You stay silent. You sense she needs you to be silent. A guy touched me in the bar. Her voice is twisted like a nearly emptied tube of toothpaste. Tears collected in her eyes. You feel really heavy. What do you mean, what do you mean? You know what she means. Let's remain silent. Be respectful. She starts talking again. Her tone is slightly different. She sounds more confident. Like saying those words out loud made her feel a bit more alive again. Or like she wanted to be stronger. He came up from behind me and touched me. Way too much. Her voice breaks over the last few syllables. The silence in the cab absorbs everything, even the noise of the traffic. You don't even hear the ambulances going by, the lights flashing. I want to talk about it, but I also don't really know what to say. Just say whatever comes to mind. It took me way too long to understand what was happening. Way too long. I didn't get it. I was petrified. She looks about 30 years old, maybe. Not far from 30. But you get the impression you're driving a little girl who had just had her innocence stolen. One minute I was standing there in the crowd. The Furiosa is like my second home. I always go there to hang out with friends because they all live in the neighborhood and our places are all too small. She takes a breath, and you follow suit, unconsciously. Everything was fine. There was a concert, I was happy. I had a bit to drink, but not too much. It was packed, but the music was sweet. It was a good night. I was having a good night. Another breath. You know what it's like when you're packed into a crowd like sardines? You don't really know who's touching you, but that's just the way crowds are. She lays her telephone on the seat and leans forward, elbows on her knees and head in her hands. Her backpack falls onto the floor. She doesn't make the slightest move to pick it up. I didn't get it. Fuck, why didn't I get it? I didn't even react. She stares at you. Why didn't I react? You should talk to the police about this. She leans ever so gently towards you. Sir, you know what? You're right. For the first time since she sat down in your cab, you feel a sense of relief. I can drop you off at the station. You stop to think for a second. I can even wait for you if you'd like. She leans over to you. I'd do the same if I were you. And I'm sincerely grateful. But no, not tonight. I just can't bring myself to do it. She grabs her bag and sits up, suddenly more outspoken. You know, you read story after story about women who've been assaulted. You say to yourself, okay, got it. If it happens to me, I'll rip his head off, scream, make a scene, hit him. He won't get away with it. You convince yourself you're stronger than them, that you know how to protect yourself, stand up for yourself. She pauses, barely. It's hard to bear. I'm angry with myself. I didn't do anything. I just stood there, frozen. Like a fucking idiot. Everyone was totally entranced in the concert. They were dancing, drinking, laughing, screaming. I was frozen. It was like a wave of ice had washed over me. Everything had just collapsed around me. It was like I was stuck inside my own body. All I could feel were his fingers worming their way in. I didn't know how long it had lasted. I was disconnected. I let him do it. Her last words hang in the air and work their way into your thoughts. aware of your sweaty hands on the steering wheel. She pauses, starts talking again. A part of me froze on the spot. Another part was screaming inside. At one point, the crowd shifted. There was a bit of a rush or something. That's when my brain started functioning again, like someone had flipped a switch. I wanted to turn around, but his hand disappeared. I couldn't see who it was and just stood there like an idiot. All that was left was a normal gathering of normal people. Who does that? I mean, really, who does that? I ran over to the bar. I don't even think I know how I got there. I couldn't feel my legs. My friends were still waiting for their beers. I bursted into tears. A brief pause, just enough to open her eyes wide. I think the worst part was that my friend made fun of me. Oh, fuck, dude. They saw me walking up in tears. I did my best to explain what happened, and they thought it was hilarious. Oh, come on. Berenice? They said, calm down, it's no big deal, relax. Only my guy friends were there tonight. Oh. They're not bad guys, you know? But they're not always so bright. I usually get along better with guys. But I really wished one of the girls had been there. Hearing them laugh was so harsh. When it happened, I didn't really know what to say. I mean, maybe they're right? Was it no big deal? She pauses and looks away. She'd never have gone to that concert. She loses herself in thought. You wonder how you would have reacted if something like that had happened to you. You try to remember how you did react. I went outside, walked around a bit. They didn't even text me or anything. It's not normal. No, nothing about tonight is normal. Nothing. I just wish I could make it all go away. It scares the shit out of me. How it's so definitive, permanent, unavoidable. I already know it will hang over my whole life. How I wish I could have made it go away, turn back time. Like in a video game, F5, F6, quick save, quick load. Swish, to erase your mistakes. A moment of absence, some horrible thing had happened, over and done. You know just what she's talking about. The feeling that suddenly, in 1 second, a split second, your fate is changed forever. There's no going back. You expect to see Aid's face in the rearview mirror? Have you ever done anything like that, sir? I beg your pardon? Have you ever hurt anyone? Any woman? She asks the question again, like she thinks you might not have heard it the first time. It's not as simple as that. The passenger breathes in. You can hear her leaning in, looking for an answer. I don't know. Indeed, you don't know. Images and sounds come to mind in flashes. People suddenly staring. Faces whose expressions shift in barely noticeable ways. Voices that no longer speak. The sour smell of sweat. The touch of skin that is suddenly chilled. Is it possible that each time you blink, you brush off a new image? You speak up again with a half smile that's supposed to be reassuring. Yeah, I probably have hurt a woman before, but not like that. I'm trying to understand, and you see, I'm skeptical. Sorry, I'm thinking about my friends and the way they reacted. In what way is this no big deal? Why exactly should I calm down? If they think I need to calm down, they must think that kind of behavior is normal. That normal people do that kind of thing. I'm sure they've got friends, a job. I mean, they're not guys who look like serial killers that just escaped from the loony bin. I'll never set foot in that bar again. Ever. You're getting closer to your destination. Your voice sounds far away. Drop me off at the light. I need to walk a bit. You pull over. She's shaking. It's like you're in slow motion. I'm sorry for all of that. You mutter something incomprehensible. Actually, you don't really know what you want to say anyway. She pays her fare and walks off without a word. You close your eyes for a long while before turning the key in the ignition. I'll have to check out the description of this game. Seems interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're not really holding back with some of these fucking stories for some of the passengers. But I like that, though. I like that they're dealing with, like, real things that can happen. It makes these characters feel more lived in, more real. Definitely not how I thought this game was going to go, but I'm really enjoying it. And there's, I think, like 75 people you can interact. Look at this. These are all the different people you can, like, pick up and meet. Like, that one girl, that, like, 20-ish minute conversation we just had as one person. Which was her down here? Yeah. But, I mean, some of them even have, like, multiple interactions. Like, this person I've picked up twice, and there's still 2 more interactions I can have with them. So there's a lot that you can do. And I know it's replayable. There's, like, I think there's, like, 2 or 3 different types of story you can do. But even if you go back to do the same one, I think it will switch who your serial killer actually is. So it's not always the same story, which is very cool. The game, I don't know if the sale's still going. But I was telling Boomin about it the other day, because I think Boomin wants to stream it. Did the sale end? Oh yeah, the sale end. Yeah. $15 normally, right now, but it was on sale last week, I think, for like $2 or $3. So, I mean, like, you can find pretty good sales on it. Passenger gets into the cab and gives you her address. Her voice is muted, far away. It is a lot of talking, though. It's kind of destroying my voice, but that's fine. You start up the cab. She appears rather meek, subdued, like she's about to fade away. You look up at her. She returns your gaze, but she's not there. It's as if you weren't looking at an actual person, but at a silhouette instead in the shape of a human being. Would you like some music? Is everything alright? Your question surprises her. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Her eyes in the rearview mirror tell another story. Seem preoccupied. Your passenger flinches. She's obviously uncomfortable. No, it's nothing. I was thinking about my thesis. Lately, that's all I think about. Your thesis? Yes. Not another word. She turns her head slightly as if thinking about something unpleasant. What's the subject? The progressive nuns of Rancé Abbey at the dawn of the industrial era. The air in the cab seems icy. I didn't quite get that. It's a thesis on nuns who introduced quasi-industrial production regulations at the time when the rest of Europe, she sighs. It's deeply boring, a subject that no one's interested in. My thesis supervisor, for a start, my parents, my ex, and worst of all, even me. She stares at you. The subject is a trap. It's never been explored, and it informs our perception of women of the 18th century, but no one is interested in it. That's how it goes. I got used to my thesis, to the subject. Doctoral theses are rarely interesting, you know, but mine, I think I've hit rock bottom. It's a useful subject, isn't it? Her eyes widen. No, definitely not. I still wonder how I ever believed it wouldn't be such a colossal bore. She hesitantly lifts a hand. But I'm the one who chose my thesis. Me and no one else. To be honest, it would no doubt be the only thing that remains of me when I die. Shouldn't say things like that. She shrugs. You're right. There's nothing more to be said on the subject. A wry smile tugs at the corners of her mouth, as if she enjoys the thought of seeing loathsome people suffer. My parents think... Her voice falters. She's unable to go on. It takes her a few seconds to pluck up the courage to speak again. My parents think I've made a mess of my life. I know they do. They haven't said so, of course. So, they're there for me. They help me. But deep down, they know it's too late. I'm 28. I'm doing a doctoral thesis on 18th century nuns. My brothers went to top business schools and earned MBAs. They're married, they have children. And me, I'm compiling pages and pages of information on nuns. You pull up to the passenger's address, an opulent-looking building of the 16th arrondissement. The young woman is perfectly still, seemingly paralyzed. I'm very grateful to you for having tried to cheer me up. Without success, but I really do appreciate you trying. A trace of a smile places across her lips. You believe that everyone has a purpose in life? She shrugs. I don't. She hands you a fare, then exits the cab without a word. A moment later, she's walking away, heading towards her building. You sit there a moment longer, and start up the cab. That was a very interesting conversation. Let's go pick up Santa. Let's go see what Santa has to say. Out of nowhere, you hear a voice whisper in your ear. This is where I died. You brake hard. There's no noise in the cab, no noise outside. Whoa. A silhouette appears on the back seat of the cab. Features appear one by one as if drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. Hey, welcome in, Shadow. Good morning. You squint. A little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me? Get out. Yeah, no, where? Very well. Let us drive, then. The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. On the back seat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. The Aranese de Paris, please. You jump. You see the specter behind you, seated in his usual spot. His silhouette seems warm and kind. 49 Rue Mong, I think. Come on, get going. I don't want to miss the beginning of the show. Show? Well, yes, the amphitheater show. You don't answer, and are evidently surprised. There's a Roman amphitheater in Paris. Were you not aware of this? A Roman amphitheater? The amphitheater is right in the middle of the Latin Quarter. Hidden, mysterious, very discreet. Ghost! Yet one night, I heard music, and I followed the scent. The scent of garum filled the streets that evening, as cooks busily worked around the fire. Garum? A sauce made from fermented fish offal. Gag. It's delicious. Lightly nod. I assure you it's delicious. The smell of garum goes right to your head, makes you salivate. In any case, once you taste it, you love it. Anyway, I was walking towards the amphitheater. The little ghost pauses, trying to remember where he left off. I entered the gate and I saw all of Paris behind me. For 2,000 years, the spirits of the city had gathered there to reenact the festivities of days gone by. An old poet with gaped teeth recited a few words, always the same passages. We bring fighters into the middle of the ring and reenact Roman battles. He smiles slightly. My mother would scold me after saying this, but the bear always triumphs over the Christian. You are struck with a strange smell. Garum, maybe? Sour, thick, vinegary, repulsive, and compelling. Your small passenger silhouette begins to fade. The living, you only see things on the surface, their edges, their crests. The amphitheater is tied down to the earth, like it has roots. It's not going anywhere. Ever. Its roots run beneath the city. They touch speed limit markers, houses, cobblestones, Roman baths. He stops and breathes. The salty taste in your mouth is making you thirsty. All the way to Rome. I would have liked to go to Rome. He lifts his hands to point to something in the distance. I'll get off there. Before you can make the slightest move, the little ghost disappears in a split second. You stop the cab and take a minute to collect yourself. Well, that had nothing to do with fucking Santa. Did that mark him on the board? Yeah, what a little guy. Unless maybe there was like two pictures on top of each other. And I had clicked the little boy instead. Like this. But I don't know if it was like that. Let's go see what this lady is all about. You look up an office tower, somewhere high up, and there's still a light on there. Passenger who enters the cab makes you feel immediately uncomfortable. Hard to say why exactly. Perhaps the smooth plastic set of his features. Oh, I thought that was a woman. Or his odd appearance, a mad assortment of mismatched clothes. Good evening, good day. His shrill intonations are offensive to your ear. Was he very posh? Tell me, good fellow and driver, would you be so kind as to take me to Rue Perrichon, number 96? As he speaks, you can almost hear the deeper accent of what seems like a second voice. Sure. You nod slowly and start the car, casting an anxious look in the rear-view mirror ever so often. Sorry to bother you and disturb you, but I was wondering if you'd be willing to answer a few short questions and queries. Why not? Thanks for opening up to me and for being so open-minded, too. Good day and good evening. Do you think building roller coasters is a normal thing to do? The question sends you for a loop. Wasn't at all what you were expecting. What? Apologies, sorry. Perhaps my query and questions aren't clear. Let me try again. No, it's fine. I understood the question. It's just that... Why do you ask? That question mustn't bother and disturb you, otherwise it won't work. Let's say we try another question, if it's agreeable to you, of course. What's with this guy? Who is he? Good day and good evening. Why have you yet to colonize the satellite you call the moon? He pauses momentarily, and you try to connect the dots. Not you, personally, of course, but you as a species. Who are you? I'm just like you, no more, no less, a human being. He stops, weighing his words carefully before going on. I cried, I wept, just like you did when Ross and Rachel got married. Are you convinced that I'm one of yours now? Absolutely not. Who are you? The customer leans in closer, and you get a whiff of a strange scent, like a mixture of turpentine and peas. And let's just forget it, okay? You nod in agreement. Definitely want to forget it. But one last question or query first, and then I'll leave you alone. One last question is fine by you. Good day and good evening. Why is her own individual freedom more important to you than those of the species and community as a whole? You examine your passenger closely. You're reluctant to speak, as if he were speaking through you. As if you were hypnotized. Because we're selfish? We always put our own interests first. We're made that way. Pause as your passenger rights his posture with a movement of the shoulders. You are surprisingly honest and frank. I know the people who live in this city. I could count the number of people willing to make a sacrifice for one another's well-being on a single hand. Suddenly, you're unable to speak, as if the words were trapped inside your throat. The passenger on the seat beside you gives a dry smile, as if he knows exactly what is going on. Thanks, H. He stops short. He doesn't actually pronounce your name, but you seem to hear what he's thinking. Sorry, I forgot. You don't want the information and knowledge to get out. Was it my old name? You absently pull up your address he had given you. Your passenger hands you a fare and then some. Meeting you and making your acquaintance was a memorable experience. Adieu. He exits the cab. You're still paralyzed, but you don't panic. Your body seems to know what's best, and you can sense your muscles relax. A minute later, you let go of the steering wheel, and the paralysis is ended. You took a look at the outside door window. A quite Parisian neighborhood, utterly uneventful. Not as swanky as the rest of the 16th adolescent. Your customer has vanished into thin air. You sit there a moment longer before making up your mind to leave. The sooner you pick up a new passenger, the sooner you'll forget this guy. Crime, crime, cats, ghosts, aliens? Yeah, dude. I haven't been getting, like, any normal passengers lately. I've been getting, like, well, I've gotten a few, but they all, like, had, like, some crazy trauma happen. But, like, there's been a lot going on this stream, Shadow. My voice is taking a beating. Also, I keep trying to do voices for certain characters, because I want them to have different personalities, but trying to do a voice, like a consistent accent or a voice along with reading is kind of hard sometimes. I'm not the best auditory reader, but you know, practice makes perfect, I guess. Alright, let's go to this guy. This guy looks normal. I might regret those words. The passenger getting into your cab is clearly upset. He gives you an address near the Pantheon. You know the address. A residence for foreign students. You often give American and Chinese students there. Or drive, jeez. You start the cab. The passenger in the back seat is furious about something. Excuse me. He has a very thick American accent. Look up. Could I ask you something? You nod. How do the police usually treat black people in your country? I mean, in general. What is their behavior like? He isn't very sure in his pronunciation. Answer honestly. I'd say the police have a problem with black people. You reveal your teeth as you continue speaking. And Arabs. And anyone else wearing a hoodie. A hoodie? Yes, wearing sweats. Yeah, if you dress like someone from the poor neighborhoods, they give you a hard time. What does Rasael mean? It's a new word to him. You shake your head. Well, it's a word of sort of negative connotation. Negative? Yes, definitely. Gives you a little smile. Now I get it. They thought I was a lowlife, a rascal. Oh, was it rascal? Like rascal maybe? Even with your accent? Well, they didn't seem to understand me very well, or maybe they thought I was making fun of them. He sighs. You give him a second to catch his breath, and his anger seems to be letting up. Is everything alright? Gives you a strange look. I don't know. I'm not feeling well. Takes a deep breath. Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped on you with that question like that. Don't worry about it. This afternoon, after school, I got mugged in the metro by some guy. His voice drops to a whisper. He was the same age as me. He stole my money, my phone. Raises his voice a little. Luckily, I'll still have my credit card and my papers. I went straight to the police station, and I was there for 8 hours. I'm tired, upset, ready to quit. He raises his voice even more. I like France, but it's just as hard here as it is at home. People look down on you because they don't like the look of you. That's the right expression, isn't it? You nod yes. They say France is the land of freedom, of human rights. But you have to behave a certain way here too, the right way. He screws up his eyes. I'd like to be judged objectively, but I guess there's no such thing as objectiveness. He settles back into his seat. What are you studying? Excuse me? A minute ago, you said you were leaving school when you were mugged. What were you studying? I'm studying to be a mime. Pause. Go ahead, say it. I didn't say anything. No, but go ahead, I'm used to it. I'm not going to make fun of it or anything. I just didn't know mime schools existed. He gives you a big smile. Imagine when I moved to France to study it. My American friends are still having a good laugh. What exactly are you learning to do? Acting techniques, stage production, makeup? Anything related to the art of mime, really. There's no schools for it in the US? Passenger gives a little laugh. No. That's why I don't want to leave, but it's the only way, it's the only thing keeping me in France. Sigh. France is not for everyone. What do you mean? I mean, the French usually stand up for their country. They're worse than Americans. A country is like a romantic relationship. You can't fall in love with everybody. We all have our likes, our dislikes, and we fall under the spell again. He's watching you. Are all cab drivers philosophers like you? He flashed a smile. I don't think so. The passenger gives a little laugh, then his eyes glaze over with an expressionless, perhaps even sad look. Thanks, man. It was good talking to you. He slips into the informal to form, no doubt by accident. I have a hard time controlling my anger sometimes. That's why I had trouble with the police today. How so? Well, to start, they made me sit in a room for hours with a woman who was clearly a prostitute. They didn't want me to take my statement. They didn't want me to file a complaint. I had to insist. They made fun of my studies, but I'm used to that. A small smile appears in the corner of his mouth. And then, when I started to get a little mad when I mentioned the American embassy, they said if I wasn't happy here, I should go home. Certain innuendos were a little... When I got out, there was no more metros, so here I am, telling my life story to a philosopher cabbie. Gives you a smile. Cops, it's complicated here. Do they treat you badly too? You smile and shake your head. No need for him to know. Suddenly, the Pantheon appears among the dark buildings. Its white dome breaks up the dull orange and brown tones of the Parisian night sky. Your passenger breathes a little sigh of satisfaction. It's beautiful, isn't it? No doubt about it. You park in front of the residence like where the young man lives. He pays his fare. stretches his hands towards you. I've discovered 10% of the Pasidex. Thanks again. Meeting you was just what I needed. Lord. You shake his hand. He has a strong, confident grip. You know, you should film your rounds at night. It'd make a great series. You answer with a smile. He opens the door, gives you a big smile, and disappears. You hold your arms close to your sides for a moment. You catch your breath, try to control the anxiety welling up inside. The mere mention of police. You start the cab. Rough subject for us, buddy. Yeah, I feel like it's all over the world, though, you know? It's not just the U.S. To fucking give my... Not the main character? What about him? Oh, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Fucking, I'm stupid. I think I need to go to bed, man. Scorpion made a joke earlier when I was driving to a gas station. She said something about like, "Hey, pick me up a Red Bull." Or no, she's like, "Hey, can I have a Red Bull?" And I was like, "Are you asking me if you can have one in real life? Because I don't care. Fucking go for it." And she's like, "No, you're fucking driving to a cab stand." I was like, "Oh goddamn." I think I need some sleep, dude. Well, where's Noodle? He's quarantined in the guest room for now. Because I found fucking more fleas on him. Last week, I think. Because I went to give him his shots the beginning of the month. And they were supposed to also give him his flea shot or whatever. Along with those other ones, because he was like finally old enough. But they did like a basic little like hand check over them, and they were like, "Oh, he looks like he's good for fleas. I don't see any." I should have pressed him on it and been like, "No, I mean, all I've been doing is like fucking Dawn soap baths, so he probably still has some fucking fleas on him hiding somewhere." But I was like, okay. But yeah, like a week ago, I found fleas on him again, so I've been quarantining him into the guest room, and I've been having to give him a shower once a week and fucking vacuuming and washing all of his shit. A friend told me I should be vacuuming like every day to try and break the flea life cycle for like eggs and shit like that. So technically I was supposed to vacuum again today, but I haven't done that. But I don't know, man. I'm tired of the fleas. I was hoping it would be fucking over by now, but it's not. I'm sure he's fucking taking plenty of naps. Annabelle Robert. Give you a few, yeah. Give you a few days. The passenger slips into the back seat, dragging a backpack that apparently weighs a ton. You want me to put that in the trunk? She refuses politely with a shake of the head. Thanks, but I'm going to have to get used to keeping it with me. It's going to be on my back for an entire month. You smile and start the cab. A glance in the rear view mirror, your passenger is rather young, and a camera around her neck looks very expensive. I immediately thought he had a fucking gun in it. Oh, the bag? Her backpack, scarf, and clothes are fairly worn. Where are you heading? She doesn't answer right away. She lowers her eyes. I'm on my way to Greece to join the NGO rescue vessel. NGO? An association, that is. It helps migrants trying to make the crossing. I'm going to do a story on them. Oh, are you a journalist? She smiles, the first since you set off. Yes, a photojournalist. They make the crossing even in winter? They make the crossing whenever they get the chance, regardless of the time of year or the weather. The EU has just closed its surveillance and rescue program. Only non-governmental associations are doing anything to help now. So I'm on my way. I volunteered. I even made a fuss to get the assignment. Her tone of voice is increasingly shrill. I read first-hand accounts. I talked to journalists who have worked on the subject. I can't just ignore the whole thing. She gives a short laugh. I even played a video game about refugees. Beautifully done. Really powerful. I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch. This is my chance to show the world what's going on there. The passenger's phone starts to ring. Oh, sorry, As she glances at the caller, her face freezes. She sighs, a troubled smile flickering across her face, and then takes the call. Hi, Dad. I'm in the cab. Right. Yeah, I told you. I tried, but he wouldn't change his mind. Come on, Dad. I already told you I'll be fine. They wouldn't be sending me there if I were... She moves the phone a bit farther from her ear. Come on, Dad, stop. Dad. Listen, everything's going to be fine. I'll be there for 20 days with a group of professionals who have been doing this for years. That's right, a group of rescue professionals. Would you just stop? She sighs heavily. It's no use. She's been down this road 1,000 times. We're about to get to a tunnel, Mademoiselle. You're going to cut out. The young woman looks up at you in surprise, then her face lights up. Did you hear that? I'll have to go. I'll call you back as soon as I'm... She is interrupted again. That's right. I'll call back. She hangs up, wide-eyed, and breathes a long sigh. My parents, they can be a little much at times. She smiles. Anyhow, thanks for jumping in there. You can sense the tension, the waves of frustration and anxiety welling up inside of her. Her unhappiness and anxiety are palpable. She closes her eyes, collecting her thoughts, and trying to dispel her negative emotions. If only I had a little more time. Is there anything I can do to help? No, thank you, I'll be fine. You already got me out of that never-ending conversation. I was just thinking that I'd like to be able to do a little yoga. It helps me relax. It's an amazing way to wind down, to calm and release tension. There must be a yoga room somewhere in the airport. I can pull over if you'd like. She looks at you closely, not sure what to think. What do you mean? There's a gas station up ahead, a rest area for truck drivers. There won't be anyone there right now. Alright, sure, why not? There's no more talk for a few minutes. Your passenger glances out the window every now and then. You drive past the gas station, the main building, the trucks, and get to a small, quiet rest area. A clearing, lit up by your headlights, and the moon suddenly appears. There is no one around. The air is cool. The young woman leans in towards you. Is this the place? You nod. It's incredibly calm, as if we were in the middle of the woods. Her eyes take in every detail, every tree and bush. Do you come here often? Whenever I can. She nods and understands. It's so quiet. Even in the middle of the winter, it looks so peaceful. She reaches for the door handle. You won't leave without me, will you? Of course not. She gets out of the cab and puts her things on the picnic table. The wind is chilly and she shivers. She gives you one last look and closes her eyes. For a minute or two, you watch her doing yoga exercises. Her eyes remain closed. Her face gradually starts to relax. A truck behind you pulls out of the rest area. The place has a calming effect on you too. Some summer nights, you come here to take a nap. The young woman is stretching now. The headlights cast soft shadows among the dark foliage. In the winter, you smoke a cigarette or two, waiting for potential clients to land. The young woman gets back in the cab. She says nothing. There's no need. You sense she's recovered her calm and is ready to face the rest of her journey. You drive away, leaving behind the clearing, the rest area, the gas station. The young woman is sleeping. The road keeps passing by, and before long you're approaching the airport. A moment later you turn down the radio. The song fades. I'll pull up over here. It'll be easier for you to get out of the cab. You get to the airport drop-off zone. A couple of colleagues greet you with a wave. A few bleak-looking passengers are struggling with huge suitcases and car trunks. A security guard sitting on a luggage cart smokes a cigarette, clearly exhausted. The passenger pays the fare, collects her things, but doesn't leave the cab. Thank you for getting me out of that horrible phone call. I love my parents, but they are suffocating. That could have gone on for hours, so thank you. I have to go now. I have the feeling my parents are going to call again. Might as well go in where it's warm and I'm not a disturbance. Take good care of yourself. I will. Promise. She gets out of the cab with all her gear. Your eyes follow her as she heads to the terminal. The airport doors close behind her. You sit there for a minute or two, all by yourself. There's no one around. May as well head out as soon as possible. I don't think we have time for anyone else. Let's listen to the radio. Your finger is poised in front of the car radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news. You happen upon the nighttime news. In a vox pop about the judge, a bystander brings up the fact that the police have still not arrested the homeless man seen near the crime scene. You raise an eyebrow at this bit of news. You didn't know that. As soon as the news is over, you turn off the radio so that the cab is silent again. See, I told you that one fucking homeless dude was a bit suspicious. Yeah, this fucker. He was there on screen for a minute. Let's see if we made some profit today. We didn't. Off by a few dollars. Yeesh. Not really doing too well. Take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the pipe shake. You glance at your bed and get to work. Homeless man seen around crime 2 and 3. Yeah. See, this guy, I'm sus about him, because the only car ride we've had with him so far, he's been kind of weird. He was seen around crime scene number 3 as well, apparently. Alright. Well, we have no other documents, so I guess that's it for that. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the sofa bed. The frame creaks. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, and their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches, and you're in pain. You can tell that you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You wish you were far away from here. Far, far away from here. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And a second later, you're asleep. You open one eye. You start whistling some song that's been in your head since you woke up, though you don't know why. It's going to be a long night. And you get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside of your studio for night 5. Alright. I think we're gonna call it there. My voice is telling me it's time. I'm not gonna lie. 2 hours of non-stop talking kind of destroys your voice a bit. EP time. Exactly. Time to eep. I can feel it like right here in the middle of my throat. My shit is dying. I wonder if that person we just took to the airport. Where were they? This one? Okay. So it does show locked options. But I wonder if that is like... I don't know. I'm assuming if it's like further up, it's stuff that I'm not going to be able to get maybe. And if it's further down, I still might be able to. I have no idea. Holy shit, this person has a lot of stuff. Maybe not, I don't know, because this has a lot of locked options. Might be random. Anyway. Yeah, that was a good session. That was fun. Appreciate y'all being here for today. I'm gonna I need to like make tea or something next time I play this game, because holy crap, does it just destroy my voice whenever I do it. Looks like Spicy has started stream, so I think we're gonna go ahead and try and raid him. Because normally I don't really have people to raid with, and we do today, so let's fucking do it. Doctor and Metal, thank you guys for the subs. I appreciate it. And then Metal, Doctor, Scorpy, and Shadow, thank you all for coming in and saying hi for a little bit. I appreciate y'all. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. No more streams for the rest of the week because I will be editing this VOD down into YouTube videos. I think we're going to be doing 2 YouTube videos out of this VOD, so they're not as long as they were as the previous one was. And, you know, that way I can keep more content in as well, because I had to cut out a few things from the last one. But, yeah. I think that's going to do it. We're going to go raid, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.